Hello everyone and welcome to NodCast Episode 1. We'll get started in just a moment. How are you, Ethan? I'm doing great. Anonis, how are you? I'm good, thanks. It's been quite the past few days. Huh? Yeah, you've been making a lot of discoveries. That's funny. If anyone is interested in what we're talking about, head over to the Telegram supergroup. A video was posted there from Korea and there's quite a bit of information in there if you listen attentively. This is NodCast Episode 1. In today's episode, we'll be introducing HYPERC for those who are brand new to us. We'll take a look at the various stakeholders of a HYPERC node factory, provide a recap of the services and systems that are already live, and discuss what's coming next for them. We'll also look ahead to what's coming, and we should have our CEO Tufi joining to give a talk as well. I look forward to hearing what he has to say. I'll start with an introduction to HYPERC. HYPERC is engineering network infrastructure for the Internet of AI. Every fraction of a second, AI can attain higher intelligence or more revenue on the Internet of AI through the HYPERC nodes. You can own and operate network node factories. No previous technical experience is required. We offer full education, support, and guidance. You can also deploy your or your client's AI to the Internet of AI. Visit hypercycle.ai for more information and you can contact us or book a meeting. I'll bring Raymond to the stage. I was about to say, if you'd like to elevate me to co-host, I can help you moderate so you can focus more on the hosting. Sorry, I didn't realize you only had speaker permissions. I'll do that now. You should have co-host in a moment, Ethan. The stakeholders of a HYPERC node factory include the node factory owner. The node factory owner produces network nodes. That's 1,024 network nodes through 10 unlocks over 5 to 8 years. These are performance-driven unlocks using proof of N superscript 2 work. Your node must reach a tilling score of 2.0 to unlock, consisting of uptime, computation, and reputation. You can read the HYPERC white paper for full technical details. For those who currently own factories that have reached this score, the functionality for unlocked network nodes to be released to you is targeted for Q1 2026. So you should start getting your first network nodes early next year. You can be a network node owner, and as a network node owner, you can deploy your or your client's AI to your network node for higher intelligence or more revenue, or you can subcontract to an operator to manage this for you. You can be a node operator, and node operators deploy the nodes to hardware. They manage which AI is deployed on the node via the node's AI machine. For developers, builders, and businesses, you can deploy your AI for higher intelligence and more revenue. You can do this through your own nodes or through an operator. Using an operator offers a no upfront cost pathway to deploying on the Internet of AI. However, you are required to develop your own AI agents and tools. HYPERC does not do that, but we offer support and guidance in utilizing the HYPERC software stack and in what we call AI-fying your AI, enabling your AI to run inside the AI machine. HYPERC is agnostic, so it doesn't matter how your AI was built. We can AIFY it and put it into the machine. You can be 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of these stakeholders in a node factory. You're not limited to just one role. Current platforms and systems include the HYPERC DApp at dap.hyp.ai, used for the management of your node factories. We have the HYPERC Explorer, used for monitoring your node factory licenses on the network. Coming soon will be the full completion of all the AI API endpoints in the Explorer so the licenses can display the full inherited tilling, and the node tilling score will also display soon so you can monitor how close your factory is to unlocking from HYPERC. There is an HMS app at hms.hyperc.site, and this is HYPERC's management service. It's for node factory owners. They till your node factory, enabling your factory to achieve unlocks. In addition, it is a multi-sided marketplace connecting factory owners with operators and businesses. Revenue is pooled and paid in USDC. Currently, node factories in the HMS are achieving a tilling uptime of 97%, and the ANFEs, the Advanced Node Factory Enclosures, on the base network are achieving 95% uptime. The team is now working on the business side to increase the number of nodes activated in the pool, which in turn will increase the wealth generated in HMS. I believe there are nearly 300,000 nodes now subscribed to HMS, so it's getting quite large. We have IOAI per dev. They are launching certificated education courses and have just launched the first one, the 8-minute program. The first 40 people who registered have received their tickets, gone through the program, and provided vital feedback. Based on that feedback, some improvements have been made. There are around 250 people now waiting for their ticket, and your tickets should start being distributed this week. In the 8-minute program, you learn how to operate a node instance from HMS with Amazon Web Services. The node instance you activate provides a directory service for network node discovery, which also generates a small amount of revenue while you're learning. There will be more advanced courses coming in 2026, but one of the immediate updates this year is the ability to deploy a node factory to these directory services. If you own a node factory, you can register for the 8-minute program at ioiperdev.com/form8-min. On NodCast Episode 2 on December 22nd, we will have Dr. Robert Moore, our Chief Science Officer of HYPERC. He'll give us technical insight into HMS and IOAI per dev, as he has been working closely with both teams. We have the HYPERC Affiliate Program. HYPERC is seeking affiliate partners to drive adoption of HYPERC node licenses. It is a commission-based role. You will connect businesses, investors, and communities and earn USDC on every referral. It's suitable for those who are entrepreneurial, well-connected, and passionate about AI. I know a few of you are excited about that and have upcoming meetings with OCAN. I wish you all the best. You will have access to official HYPERC partner materials and dedicated support from our business development team, along with exclusive insights into upcoming HYPERC product launches and campaigns. You will also have the opportunity to scale your affiliate operations regionally. You can apply via email to oz@hypercycle.ai. Please include a short summary of your background and network focus such as region, industry, or community reach. We'll now move on to things that are in development and coming very soon. We have Node Manager, currently being utilized by our Community Beta Node Operator program. Node Manager is an advanced tool for full operation of a node factory, including deploying your node to hardware, even your own laptop, and deploying AIMs from the AIM registry to your node. As someone who had never tried anything like this before, I found it very intuitive and not complicated at all to use. Has that been your experience, Ethan? Yes, I was just about to co-sign that. I had little to no technical skills, and within a few days I was able to get up to speed and understand everything. That was my experience as well. The leader of the program is Raymond, who is here with us now. If you would like to join the CBNO, please apply with him. And correct me if I'm wrong, Raymond, but the Node Manager looks like it's ready for general release or almost ready. We're getting there. The most recent change to the Node Manager is that it has gone through a binary release. Many things that were previously spread out in Python scripts have been consolidated and compiled into a binary. That makes it easier for us to bring it to a general release. We are taking the steps to get there, and the CBNO program is where we're doing that. Fantastic. And the hackathons, Raymond, are we closer to them? Yes. Thank you. I'd say Q1. I'm comfortable with that. We're making our way toward that. The CBO program is helping prepare our onboarding process so we can take in a new cohort of people who can start building things and interacting with the APIs and the ecosystem. Documentation is also being built up to allow people to come into a sandbox environment, build something quickly, test it, deploy it, and release it. Thank you, Raymond. And lastly, regarding what's currently live for HYPER.AI box owners, you recently had correspondence from me and there was a big uptake to claim your AMI. Soon you will receive another email from me, Anthony, which will provide the option to turn the license that is on the box in your factory into a node factory. It will require 1024 HYPC, but I know many of you have been looking forward to that. Those licenses have a lot of uptime, and some of them will be nearly ready for unlock immediately. Tuffy, how are you? Excellent. How are you? Very good, thank you. That was quite an extensive update. We've had a lot of movement and partners progressing. It's a very exciting time. Yes, it is. We're still aiming to get what we discussed last time, the AI markets, launched by Christmas, hopefully. It would be nice. I think among the roughly 1,750 node factory owners that exist in the world, and those are entities, not individuals, some of them own a huge amount. One I'm aware of is the largest. They own 20,000 at the time for their community and are now 40,000, so they might end up having even more with that acquisition later on. I won't say the name of that community because I don't want it to seem like I'm advertising. So we'll wait until they have deployments spread across all 20,000. That community is an organization similar to, say, McKinsey. When you have 20,000 or 40,000 highly skilled individuals globally, it becomes something significant. For comparison, PwC has around 200,000. This community has around 20,000 and is now close to 40,000. It will be nice when they distribute to all their members who are spread out globally. Going back, we have about 1,770, maybe 1,780 entities that own ANFEs currently in the world. ANFEs are what many call the Adaptive Node Factory Enclosure. I actually prefer that name over Advanced. Some people say Advanced Node Factory Enclosure. Others say Adaptive Node Factory Enclosure. I've become used to Advanced now. Right? Either way is fine. I think Advanced sometimes sounds like a fluffy marketing word used to make something seem special, like saying great or better. Adaptive is more indicative of what it actually does. But it's just a name. The ANFE is like a product. For those listening for the first time, it's like you're listening to a factory called Toyota, and they make a product called Lexus. Or a company called Fiat that makes a car like Ferrari or Alfa Romeo. Hypercycle makes ANFEs, the node factories that enable entities around the world to produce nodes. When the work is performed, the nodes are produced. We brought this concept to the world, and many people still don't understand why it is the way it is. Interestingly, they are the same people who, in the early days of Bitcoin, would ask why those machines needed to perform all that work to produce Bitcoins, or why you can't just create them manually. You still find brilliant computer scientists who think they can go onto a ledger and create the mining output that Bitcoin spends electricity to secure. But we know better. Everyone here, over 1,000 who tune in to these spaces, understands that if there is no work, there is no reward. But buying a machine that produces Bitcoin is something from 15 years ago. If you want to build the future, we are building the future. We were the first to talk about the Internet of AI. We are getting many incredible entities following in our footsteps, including those people assumed were our enemies. Google's A2A 9 months ago announced that they are participating in building components for the Internet of AI. There are now 1,983 AI agents participating in the Google A2A initiative. We look at Google A2A as one of many nodes that will be part of this Internet of AI, not as enemies. They're friends. Microsoft is a friend. Every node in this world is a friend to the Internet of AI. We're here to connect the bridges and enable global collaboration. We enable node factory owners to do the work that produces the nodes, because the nodes are what make all of this possible. If I or Anthony had the ability to produce unlimited nodes without constraints, we could effectively mint value out of thin air, and you see many unsustainable projects doing exactly that, which is not viable. We try to steer many such projects in the right direction. It is the work that produces the nodes. Owning the machine that produces the work is the node factory. Unlike Bitcoin mining hardware, Here the work performed is objectively needed by the global ecosystem of the Internet of AI. For example, you can still run Bitcoin mining on your computer today, but specialized machines exist because they are optimized for guessing hashes. It's not solving complex equations, it's just guessing numbers. Moving forward, we must evolve progressively. We shouldn't follow the tens of thousands of projects that simply copy Bitcoin's model, copying a ledger, pretending it's the same thing. We are innovators and others follow us. We declared the Internet of AI early on and built security for it. We now find ourselves building a small but critical component of an ecosystem expected to exceed $1 quadrillion. If that tiny component is 0.1%, our community would be happy. We're not trying to dominate the world, we want to be part of it, build it, and make it secure. We know what we're doing. The 1,770 of us may become 100,000 in 6 months or a year. One step at a time. When people misunderstand us, we clarify, and they often become partners. Some will remain haters. That's fine. Life goes on with the positive people. The world doesn't evolve through those who stay disgruntled. People still try to create narratives based on misunderstood examples, such as something I said 2 years ago, actually 2 years and 2 months ago. During a hackathon, we had students in their first year of university who were able to take a node factory, plug it in, and get it running on the spot. They were filmed. You can find those videos. They produced and earned money about $10 or $15 in one day on a single node factory. That was a peripheral node factory. That's what node factories do. You can deploy them anywhere, like tapping into available compute and running workloads. We always said it was a node factory. Before we sold anything, we sold licenses called node factories, each capable of outputting 1,024 nodes. When you marry the license with the token, you get the utility that enables production of those 1,024 nodes. That is the compute that HYPERC provides, is the capability of producing those nodes. And when you have those nodes, it's like you have connection to the Internet of Human. What do you call that you get you Homo sapien? You can tell me what is it called, this device that you get it to connect you to the internet smartphone? Okay, well, that's a human. You need get that device called smartphone, or you can call internet service provider. They turn that switch and they say, here now you have access to the internet. So our 1770, node factory owners, they're more like the internet service providers. Of that Internet of AI, any one of them can get a node that they produce and connect anyone to the Internet of AI. It's nodes that they are producing, right? So yes, you have people that they're still stuck into this things like, oh yeah, but you said that this is like comput people, like I want to make money of like my node. Where's the money they're making on my node? The only money that you can make out of a node factory is making nodes. Okay, if the nodes they can make money, that's a different source. It's kind of like you have a car factory. The reason it is called a car factory and it's not called like car or gasoline or whatever thing, it's called a car factory for a reason, because it produces cars. Now people, they take a car and drive it as an Uber driver to make money out of it. That's great. They can make money out of the car. Or some other people, they want to drive it to just for fun. The node, some people they might get the node because they want to increase intelligence into their AI. Some other people, they wanted to use the node to generate extra revenue of the money that they could make. But is it on its own? Is it going to make money on its own? But this is some crazy talk, man. It's like getting the internet to a law firm and saying, yo, law firm, how come you're not making any money? But that law firm wasn't making any money to begin with because it sucks. And you connected to the internet. You're like, why is it not making money? I connect to the internet. Well, if you have X, you can multiply X by something. But if your X is 0, you're not going to get you multiply 0 by anything, you get 0. So if there is some AI that adds value into the world somewhere, cloud, for example, you can take a cloud and plug it right now and put a node onto cloud and it makes you money right now. Let the node that you sell, you plug it into cloud and it makes money. You put a huge machine into it's going to make a lot of money. You put small machine, makes a lot of money. It's just like that, and there are a lot of other businesses that they're building it as a bridge to an entire business like Microsoft, like Google. And I said it 9 months ago and people, they're like, oh, show me, where is your partnership with Microsoft, you liar? And I'm like, wait, when did I say I have partnership with Lee? If you misunderstood what I have said, you're just becoming like a hater, disgruntled, whatever things. Any partner in Microsoft right now, they can configure their node if they can buy node from you and they configure that node to give access to the entire world through their node, and that's 100% legit via the Microsoft terms of use. They get paid and they go and buy that computer from the back, So anyway, we continue working, continue growing, and along the way we're going to notice that there's a lot of people, they don't make the cut, but the best part of it is that when those that they become upset and they go away, they actually create a lot of opportunities for many that they wouldn't come until they see those guys go. It's like, wait, what you don't have those people anymore. Great, we want to come, so I try to make sure that we're not here to create the enemies, we're here to build the friendship across the board. All we're doing is creating this technology that can add value, and we're 100% certain that it can. And along the way some people, they misunderstand it. That's okay. If we can get them to understand it, that's great. But if they have an incentive to begin with to be negative or whatnot that we can't tell, but luckily we're not finding a lot of those anymore. So yeah, we seem to make great things coming, like that AI market that I mentioned last time. So hopefully we'll have it before Christmas. So what that you'd expect from that as a node factory owner is that, like, there is a business that is in AI that it's called, let's say, where's Dr. Cost here? I forgot what it's called, that medical software. Or there's this other one that is like interpreter for medical imaging or whatnot, whatever AI that you've got. Instead of waiting for someone with a fire to plug your AI to the internet of AI, you're able to go to that AI market and describe what your AI does to the world, and some node factory owner would adopt you, so you don't have to actually go and buy the node, and which is amazing. It's like, it sometimes could be people that coming up with brand new ideas and they don't exist. Those are going to be very difficult to make it, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. Difficult. Sometimes it's like high risk, high reward. If somebody's coming up with brand new idea, they're welcome. Those are great. But if they are businesses that already exist, like that medical image processing that you take, some X-ray, you take any image and it has a lot better processing in it because they have some sort of algorithm, whatnot, and that company does exist. There's so many of those, they will have the ability to go to the AI markets and plug their thing, and when they plugging it, they're enabling another channel for sale, because they will become like the AFIR. You see how powerful that is. It's like, definitely I'm going to give you an example that is, without giving you the correct name, a car dealer AI. Okay, an AI for car dealer. That AI for car dealer software is currently selling for $200 a month for a car dealer, but it gives that car dealer everything they need around that thing. Like, whether you call them, there's an AI answering you. Whether you go to their website, there's an AI 24/7 knows about all of the cars that they've got and all of these things. Okay, so that's $200 a month. That business already exists. They're selling for $200 a month now. If it's $200 a month, that's $2,400 a year for the car dealer. And then you would look at it from the perspective of what would that be if that is on its own is a business that you're buying it one shot. You don't want to spend $200 a month. You want to come to that software company and say, what would you give to give it like perpetual license for life? And they would calculate it, be like, if you give me $10,000, give it to you. Some people, they might be a little bit more in the financial world, would be like, wait, $200 and $2,400 a year, that increases my valuation by $24,000. That is something that it's already exists out there in the world, has nothing to do with us. This is like the average people that they calculate recurring revenue and what it adds to them. So they're not willing to sell it for less than $20,000, for example. Others, they might say, well, man, it's like bird in hand, better than 10 on tree. I'll take 10,000, whatever that number is. It's a lot more than 2,400, right? So let's follow that thought. If that's the case, then you can go and say, I'm willing to sell this for $10,000 if it's perpetual, and go ahead and bundle it with whatever like nodes that you've got. And many of those that they produce nodes. As you produce node, you bundle the node that you produced with this. Okay, sounds good, right? But what sounds even better for that software company is their ability to sell a different kind of license that they've never heard before until they saw it here, that they would sell a license that is called a factory of their thing, which effectively what it does, it injects their component as part of the factory. So as the factory produces 1,024 that we know it is necessary to have 1,000 to do that work, to produce those, you will have your software as a company produce 1,024 times, so you give that license away 1,024 times. In return, what do you expect? 10,000, no more, maybe $50,000, right? It's along those same lines. Now I'm talking about those numbers, 10,000, whatnot, because the base is 200. If you were to use the base to be $1 per month, it's almost proportional to that. It's like $2 a month. Then you'll be able to sell that for 100 times less than, instead of saying that here's a node factory that I can sell for $50,000, I can sell it for $500, right? Yeah, so it's like 5. So then they sell their thing for $500 or $250, depending on what you're actually selling. But that's a very good thing for that company, because now this is not a pre-sale of a product that they haven't built. This is a product they have built. They're already selling it. This is enabling a channel of factories for the Internet of AI to have the ability to produce 1,024 of their legitimate software, and you have their software and you go and sell it to the world for how much you want. So this is where 1 + 1 = 11, or 1 + 1 + 1 = 111, as opposed to 3, and that's referred to as the synergistic emergence. It grows a lot when you add those 3 different mixes into this thing. You're adding the node factories with that software, with the hypercycle, and then all of them you end up having a lot more value to. The rest of the world, or in this specific scenario, you'd be like the car dealer themselves that wants to become a distributor of that software as opposed to just a consumer. Instead of spending $10,000, now they go and spend $50,000. They now have the ability to produce 1,024 different software that they can sell it only for car dealers for, like, let's say $14,000 or $15,000, which includes the nodes and the Internet of AI search and all of those additional components. Say with C8 they bundle it all together and then they sell it. So that why is that even more exciting for somebody who's hearing it for the very first time. If somebody's just joined this X for the very first time here, we're enabling an intelligence that already worth that much. If you add them together, they're worth that $14,000 whatnot, but you're enabling a car dealer to become a distributor of that $14,000 1,000 times. So they're looking at a $14 million of added revenue for the next, let's say, 5 years as they produce those nodes. Why? Well, because they're doing the work to produce those nodes, but also they're doing one thing that I have never mentioned until this moment in a public space. You want to hear this? I think we do, yeah. So this is something that we've mentioned it a little bit. It's called, like, one of those projects, it's called Mosaic, and other ones called the human elements, and all of those they're coming in that they would be part of C16. But what those they enable is that when you think about it, that car dealer, when they're using that software that they bought a factory and they're using it for about 6 months to produce the very first 2 nodes, another 6 months to release those 2 nodes, so that's like a year. Yeah, are they're benefiting from it, but in the same time, this thing that they are using is that thing becoming smarter, knowing more about car dealers. Yes, and the answer is yes, it is. So when they produce those nodes, not only that those nodes they have a lot of, they can separate them from the entire car dealership, and the node on their own is worth, a lot because it's got great reputation, all the stuff, but keeping it coupled with that is even worth more because that coupling gives it that it's optionally inheriting that entire intelligence that it learned while it's being incubated in that car dealership, and that, my friend, is like a phenomenal tree of intelligence that propagates from there on, because whoever takes a node that it's been produced and released by a car dealer, a node factory, they're getting the option to inherit all of that intelligence. So if they are a car dealer, that car dealer thing already knows a lot, about the car dealer industry, because it inherited that. Now you take it, you use it also for about 6 months or a year or whatnot. Now what you then it's getting better and better over time, and this is something that is the opposite of everything that is in the computer world today. Everything in the computer world today, when you buy a computer, you use it for 4.5 years, it loses like 90% of its value. HPC centers, they lose over 90% of the value. Software lose their value because there's better software, there's better hardware, all of these things, and they lose their value very fast. We're here enabling people because of that complete independence, where many people, they try to copy me, they, by the way, and you probably see them, we give you the ability to retain that wealth or whatnot they give you, and you depend on their ledger, or you depend on some third party that is called Microsoft or whatnot. The moment you depend on a third party, by construct, the entire equation does not work. The wealth creation existed long time before electricity. When it does not depend on a third party, the moment it depends on a third party, it is no longer wealth creation, becomes part of an entity. It's like if you're part of, you can increase the shares of Starbucks, but you're not increasing your own shares if you have just like one of the stores, and we've seen that all over. But if you have your own brand, that you're 100% entitled for your wealth creation, then you don't have a third party dependency, and that's because the construct of the node factory, you don't have a dependence on a third party. We are the first to produce that in the world. We're still the only ones. There is no, if anyone tells you there is something out there that doesn't depend on third party, they're lying. We know they are, because it doesn't exist. But when it does exist, they become a very good partners, because we figure that out. At some point they will exist. We can add value to them. They add value to us. It's network effect. But at this point, that complete independence, we have it, we give it to you, you produce with that independence those nodes, the people that they buy the nodes in that, let's say that car dealer, they're buying a node that retains the wealth creation going forward. So not only that they are using it to generate more sales to their car dealer whatnot, it's actually increasing in value as they use it, because it's increasing its intelligence and ratio. But the one thing that I'm adding today on this call, that hearing it public for the very first time, and the smart ones, they know why I didn't tell you that 2 years ago. This is more like telling you that there's more good stuff that I've been giving you for the last couple years. That doesn't mean that, okay, that is this added intelligence that they're adding by using it, it's becoming smarter. Instead of having the node that appreciates, let's say from like $500, they buy it for 1,000, the togetherness it goes, and let's say the node appreciates from 500 to 1,000 in about a year, and the software that they were using to do this AI is, we already know it doesn't appreciate. So let's say it's worth, we said $10,000, write the node. So now you have 10,000 plus 1,000, you would think it's 11, but the reality, what I'm trying to say is that $10,000 of software is getting smarter. So give it a number smarter, maybe it's a 10,001, or maybe it's 20,000 thousand, but it's more so on top of the node that it's more, but that thing is more, and you put them together. And they're worth, of course, a lot more, so that's something that we are super proud of it, and as usual, we always underpromise and overdeliver, and we continue to do that. If folks, they misunderstand the overdelivery to be that you didn't deliver on the previous ones, that's their problem. We're bringing something new to the world, and that's what it takes to bring it, and we're super proud of it and hoping that the entire community can enjoy that AI markets and help us grow it, cause it is for every single one. I don't benefit more from that AI market being no factory owner more than you. We can all benefit the exact same way from it because it gives me the ability to have access every single AI that is out there, invite them to be part of this thing and realize that how much benefit they can get by selling more. Everyone in the software world, they want to sell more. That gives them the ability to sell more and multiply with that node factory capability to get more intelligent organs in that world of internet of AI. So if we're good on that part, let me know if you have any questions. If not, then there's some other channel for sales that we discovered recently that I would want to make sure that everyone who's a not factory owner know about, because that can give the ability to a lot of people to explore that over, the holidays and perhaps until next time we talk. I'm very excited about the marketplace, and there's a million different things you could do with that. But I don't have questions now. What we will do is we'll see what questions come in over the next few days. But yeah, if you want to move on to the next thing too, I'm very excited about this as well. Okay, cool. So the next thing is this next thing. I don't want to say that I haven't really talked about it publicly because there were certain talks that have had one with Justin, I think last week on Direct Space and other podcasts here and there, and I think there's one good one that I did with 3D Capital One, I think mentioned this one there. And I can say to you here that if we knew that what I'm just going to tell you right now, like a year ago, we would have even got the aggregate assets of that we own currently. All of us who have this aggregate assets would be likely about $12 to $13 billion. Because the nodes, they're being audited after third-party assessments to be worth more than $5,000. We're going through the audit. We will talk about the audit results that is being audited by nation states, not just some sort of random George M.O. audit. It is a serious audit, and those are certified audit agencies that they send to do audit on this stuff. This can give us a lot more solid thing that we own. When you own a note factory that Josh M.O. try to tells you, oh, that's not worth $5,000. It's barely worth $150 because I can't find it on some I don't know, some network, some ledger or whatnot. Well, but for those internally, they already know why we did this shift not to be available in any just crypto space that they do pump and dump. We want to be in a place that is the RC 721 that we have this protection. And when you have two third-party assessment agencies that they evaluated this to be worth, let's say, a lot more than $5,000, but we elected to go with the lowest possible and get that to be audited to be more than $5,000. And you have an audit, then it's all third-party certified entities. They're doing all of this. And many people, they come and say oh yeah, here's what I learned. That's a good idea. Let's go and do this to our business. Let's go and do that to this to that. I mean, it's it doesn't really work that easily to kind of create an organism just overnight, because if you can take a painting and put eyes and mouth on it or whatnot to make it look like a baby, it's not going to be a baby moving and talking and whatnot. There's a lot of work that make that to be as real as it is. And we just invite people to come in and partner with us. So some people, they come and say, show me that report. Well, there is an audit that I would rather show, and that is auditors, they spend weeks and weeks to go and drill deep into it, and they be like, oh my God, this is for real. So when you have a note factor is worth more than $5,000. It's audited by, nation states and backed by, as you've seen, the Korea deal. There's 3 other deals they're coming in after that, which we said to people they will be, but it's better all of those nations to come in after we have completed that audit for many logistical questions, logistical things. So while we're working on all of these things, we have noticed that the nodes factory, if they're worth more than $5,000, they produce nodes that they're worth, the node themselves could be worth, 0 or could be worth $300. But if they have this utility to generate more intelligence to any AI anywhere in the world, they're worth something. That utility. The more you justify that utility, the more they are worth more for adding intelligence on its own. Adding intelligence, that means they will never ever produce any revenue. Just add intelligence. So that's one side of it. The other side, you can plug it in to know that they want to increase their revenue. So they have a revenue of X, they want to have X multiplied by 1.2 or 1 or 5 or whatnot. And that is another side of what they do. Okay, so this is all good. They say that the node itself is worth, let's say, $1,000. The node factory is worth $5,000. If you do the work, you end up having something worth $1 million. Wait, wow, amazing. Great. There is no get-rich-quick scheme here. It's like you do the work from A to B. That's something with utility. So that thing that has utility is different than something that us human attribute value into it, like we do for Bitcoin or any currency US dollars, what we attribute value into that paper. But if an alien intelligence come to planet Earth and you say, here's my US dollar, take it, I'll pay you, or here's my Bitcoin or whatnot, they be like, you are delusional, fu ck, they are, what are you talking about, you giving me this piece of paper, what is this common delusional things, we all believe that it has value, right, a utility thing that is a node. If they come in and say you have this node, what does this node do? Well, any AI that is out there, you can have 2 copies of that AI, A and B. Any AI, bring all the ads in the world, any one of them, you can have A and B. Everything is equal. You can put 2 copies of the entire Microsoft, or you can put 2 UI copies of the entire Microsoft, or API copies of the entire Google, right? Let's say you do that. But then one of them will get your note that has all of those cryptographic proofs of it, proving itself to the universe with timestamps that nobody can reverse, nobody can go back in time. And you put it in front of that alien intelligence. If it has to choose between A and B to do any compute, every single time it's going to choose A. It has more than B. How much more? Some people, they can argue with you, it's tiny little bit more people that they know it's a lot more, but even if it's tiny little bit, if everything else is equal, A and B, A will always have more value just because it's got that note. So that what I mean by, say, objective reality as opposed to subjective to us Homo sapiens, that we attribute value to something that is called money or, currency or whatnot. We think that Bitcoin is worth something because we think that the aliens, they're going to come in, they're not going to think that. They're going to think this is a number that exists out there. You all think that it is worth value. But here we're talking about a utility that if they were to run, the AI is going to choose that has utility that has more value. Okay. Yeah. So we're good on that. So now that we're good on that, I'm going to tell you about this new opportunity that can be huge for all of us, and we're going to have a few deals that once we've got kind of close them and they can talk about them, we can tell the world about them, that they can use those deals. And there's some that in small countries that they're happening Northern European, without necessarily mentioning which ones others, and they are in Africa, and some in Asia that they are building HPC Center. Yeah, HPC Center stands for High Performance Computing, and almost every country in the world, they're trying to race to build a lot of HPC Center, and a lot of businesses around there. Why they want to build High Performance Computing Center? Because they realize if you spend, let's say the average turns out to be like about $3.5 billion for a 200 megawatt. Yeah. So if you're spending $3.5 billion to have that 200 megawatt, it has the capability to generate a lot of revenue, and it's your forecast might be off, but everyone's going with that forecast, and we already know that is the reality in this day and age, December 8th, 2025. If anyone's listening, this is the reality of the world today. Everyone is racing to build those now. While they're building those, the very, very smart companies around the world, they're building the stuff. So if any one of you know that some people, they're building this, you will know that at some point through the progress of building it, they get the land, they get all of the electricity wire, they get the deals with government to get the electricity for 3 cent kilowatt. Some others, they get it for 1 cent, which is very rare, by the way, but most of it's like, say, 10 cent per kilowatt, and they get all of these things set up, but they get to the point as they're building it costing a lot of money. Even if they have a lot of money, they can build a lot of those, but they need to go to, let's say, a bank or any financial institution to borrow to continue building it. Okay, right? And when they get to that point where they start going back and forth with bankers, and bankers, they come back and tell them, okay, you showed me everything except one thing, you haven't showed me how you're going to get into compute. Be like, well, there's a lot of deals that I'm trying to do with this company, with that company, whatnot. But there's one of the deals that we're doing with these node factory owners, and we have, let's say, Ray, who decided to give us 1,000 node factories, and here's the contract. He's committed to give us 1,000 factories, those that can produce 1 million nodes over the course in a half years. And this is where the fun begins, because that banker would be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But when somebody's trying to borrow $300-400 million, they would go to Ray, would be like, what can I do to facilitate this? And Ray would be like, hire an audit firm. We are so confident of what we've got. We tell people, audit us. Bring in the audit. No problem. They get the actual auditor. They would come in and say like, this thing is worth as much because it has the capability of producing those things, and those things have the capability to increasing the exposing anything that we're going to run with this HPC computing center to the rest of the world, and it's going to increase the revenue. Therefore, that tiny little thin line that the bank they were waiting for, they seem to now grant the loan. So we've tried that a few times. It seems that it's working. So I feel like if we're helping them getting what they're trying to get by simply giving them commitments that we would give them those factories to run, that's a win-win situation, because then you end up having your node factories running in a computing center that is like so committed to run them nonstop for like the next 4.5, 5 years. So you're going to produce your notes a lot faster, and chances are if somebody's going to receive few $100 million of loan just because of you're giving them a bunch of assets they're worth, let's say $10 million. You could always agree that you would sell them those for $10 million and they have to pay you in however you agree with them. But it's just like that's if you want to sell, otherwise you just partner with them. You just plug them in and let them grow and have all of your nodes to grow. But it's a channel that I wanted to share with you all. A channel to the more channels for sales, the more channel for markets, the more markets that we discover as we go along, we hope to share with each other. If any one of you discover a new market or whatnot, please let us know. Let anyone guys here know as well, so we can examine it deeper, get deep to whatever is needed to send audit or whatnot to give it more validity, test it out, and then we can all benefit from each other. Because if I were to be able to do 10 of those computing centers by in a year from now, the next 12 months, and you're able to do 20, my 10 helps your 20, because you're able to have more and more references to show. So that's something that we're working on. If for those new to us here, they know that we try a lot of avenues. This is one avenue that is about to be tried, and we'll see the results of it. If it turns out to be moot, we're not going to proceed with it in a month or two from now. We don't have to do anything about it. We can just move on. But that's 1 out of 50 jobs that I do every day. It's not like I'm dropping everything to just focus on this. This is different than the previous conversation that we had, that it's already been proven, already progressing, and it's already getting into value, that it's becoming more and more objective, and we will have that AI market and share it with folks, and we will have it as a community thing, so then we can all add more and more value into it and get it to be a lot stronger before necessarily having to show to the rest of the world. So we're looking to add all them fire 40 plus different projects into it. We have one of our junior in, guys, they added some 12 different ideas or whatnot. So all of those can be added. But I expect this to at some point in time to channel into the 1,983 AI agents from the Google A2A, because they are looking very friendly. They're looking that to want to grow their market. They want to be best for all of their AI, agents, and yeah, that would be one, but that's not stopping us from doing deals with Microsoft, with Amazon, and there's a lot of things that I cannot talk about with others, but when they happen, they happen. We'll let people know if they happen at the big company contract level. That will take the eternity nowadays. Things, they don't move like that anymore. For me to actually sign a contract with Microsoft or with like some government takes 6 months to a year. But if you enable the capabilities from within, kind of like the MCP Anthropic or Google ATA, whatnot, then they end up single one of them, they add value to all. So, yeah, we're getting closer, and hopefully everyone gets to enjoy the holidays and we'll get to talk to you again. If it's not this year, then next year, then it's also Happy New Year to all. But yeah, thanks for having me. If there's any questions big important, please let me know. If not, I will have to jump for my next one. Thank you so much, Tuffy. And I'm really excited for that marketplace, and we want every AI on there without exception. Yeah, if you've got any questions, do put your hand up. If not, and one reminder then, I'll tell you, somebody asked me today from one of the GCC nations, like, okay, why don't you send us who's your favorite list of companies, like customers you want to sell to them or whatnot? I'm like, for nodes, anyone who's running AI could benefit from nodes, but for node factories, anyone who's breeding can either be node factory owner or node factory operator. You want to partake in that future. You want to be part of creating this future. We are here doing it all together. And this is what this thing is all about. A node factory owner, node factory operator are what we are hoping to grow. And we welcome everyone. As a node factory owner, node factory operator, everyone is included. Now, what about the nodes? You need to plug it into an AI. So any company it's running an AI, it would benefit if somebody is not running AI, that is AI, ideally that AI is generating revenue, it needs to get either smarter or it needs to get more revenue. That's what the nodes are for. So I tried to kind of simplify it that way. Hopefully it can't be the same for everyone. And any ideas for markets, please let me know. Once again, thank you. Thank you so much, Ty. Happy New Year. We'll see you next year. See you next year. Take care. Take care. Bye, guys. See you. Bye. Bye. Wow. So very exciting times ahead. I'm sure we're all very much looking forward to that marketplace that's coming. We will be back for one more just before Christmas, and that's going to be on the 22nd of December. And it'll be Dr. Robert M.O. talking about the IOAI per dev the education. There's been some updates in that, and I look very much forward to that. And there should also be an Ops Corner where Raymond will be demonstrating Node Manager. So that's the operators tool. I'll speak to you all soon. Sorry, Ethan. Was there anything from yourself before we shoot? No, not at all. I was gonna ask Tuffy a question, but looks like it'll have to wait till another space. Yeah. Oh, we should have asked. He did, I guess. Yeah, it's all good. But it was exciting though to hear that they have like 3 other countries in the pipeline right now. And so that's really exciting news. Yeah, definitely. Okay. I'll see you all on the 22nd of December. Have a great evening everyone and take care. All right.